Just a heads up before this video starts, this does include spoilers for day 2 of 2022's LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar, though I'm sure you've likely already opened it. Ho ho, hello there, and welcome to a very different video. This isn't going to be just a straight up review of the set, so if reviews are your things, I would recommend clicking off this video and finding someone else that did it a few years ago, because I am a bit behind on this, but I never picked up any of the 2 blister packs, no matter how much I looked on lego.com, which, to be honest, knowing what I know now was definitely not enough if I wanted to get either one of those sets. But going into LEGO stores, they were always sold out, which meant I never got the clone blister pack. However, now I own pretty much all the pieces to have a somewhat convincible blister pack built and displayed, or perhaps just built, so I can look at it and then break it apart, knowing that I've built something close to it. I do not own the cheese wedges that are needed for it because they only come in 3 different sets, and there's a few color swaps as well. I think there's 1 or 2 color swaps. But as of this morning, I opened this clone commander captain. You can correct me down in the comments. I'm sure it probably says on the box or on Bricklink what it is, but I finally own this minifigure, and the other 2 clones that come with it use a helmet that looks like just any other, and the torso and legs are from the new Phase 2 Clone Troopers, which is really handy when trying to put this together. So I've collected all the pieces that I'm going to need in this little bag here, which used to hold my brick separators. I ran out of room a long time ago, but rather than me put this together and then talk about it, show it off, and try and hit the 8-minute mark like, let's be honest, most reviews do, because how else are people meant to share the joy of LEGO? I want to take a different approach, because with the live streams that I was doing earlier this year, a load of you liked when I was building LEGO and talking over it. Now, it's a bit different when you're live, because it is more of an interactive experience. This is just a recording. Perhaps I can premiere this so this has a live chat. That'd be a really interesting feature. But I am going to get the instructions on screen and just talk to you about a few ideas for the new year, and mainly about this set. I will try to stay on topic, but we all know I do love a good tangent. I think the best thing about building this set as the first one in this format is not only it's quick and I won't have to sit here for hours and crop out any of the bits, but I also don't have to scroll through the instructions because it's just a double-sided sheet of paper, which is always really nice. But first off, we're going to need some more clone troopers. So for these clone troopers, I am picking my Phase 2 troopers with printed arms that I got from Firestar Toys, because they just look so much nicer. But you can always imagine them plain white arms, so they fit with the set. And I don't really have many plans for what I'm going to be saying during this video, but the big thing is the LEGO is an experience that is meant to be enjoyed together. And my thoughts behind this, you can let me know how you feel about it down in the comments. And if you make it to the end of this video, is just that LEGO is an experience that is meant to be enjoyed. The building process is part of that experience, because recently set prices have been getting expensive, and I'm not going to stand here and say they haven't. Just because I own a lot of LEGO doesn't mean they're not expensive. LEGO is a very expensive hobby, and hopefully I cannot mess up on any of this as I am talking. But that is because a lot of the LEGO hobby goes into the actual builds of some of whatever the ships are, because with model making, they can cut corners, they can hollow interiors. With LEGO, every couple of centimeters needs a strong wall that can support the next couple hundred of bricks, and that does increase the price very quickly. It's like with 3D printing. If you were to 3D print this play button is mostly 3D printed. YouTube didn't send me any kits to build this. I got jealous of seeing someone else building it and decided to 3D print it myself. And if I was to 3D print the thing as a whole, first off, it would have taken a lot less time and would also take a lot less plastic, because the likelihood would be that the innards would just be hollow. Even if I decided to print the detail with the different grooves, making it look like they're different pieces, the whole thing would still be empty on the inside, compared to how it actually is with all the different bricks on the insides. And for every brick wall you can see, there's usually at least 3 that go unhidden. So it takes a lot of plastic, and LEGO is of course going to be more expensive than a model making kit, even if you are trying to piece the other model together, because there are just some corners they can cut that Lego can't. But it's also because the experience of building the model has to be as fun as the actual model itself. You see this in a load of the different MIDI scale ships and all of the designer sets with the little scenes on the inside, which are going to contribute to the price of Lego. But a lot of the time, the sets that get pulled up for being expensive are the model sets, which I don't think is entirely fair on Lego. Now, when they do something like the Captain America Brave New World sets, that's definitely fair to call them out on. But when we're criticizing model sets that are meant to be at that more expensive threshold for one reason or another, I don't think it's entirely fair of us to just whinge at Lego because we want cheap Lego, which, let's face it, we do want cheap Lego. Why wouldn't we want cheap Lego? But I definitely think there are some really, really good sets out there from Lego, and especially in the January wave, there are so many not just cheap sets, but sets that are worth their price. The Minecraft sets are getting even cheaper by the looks. Well, technically they got more expensive first this year, but it is nice to see they're not going up and up like some of these smaller Star Wars ships. But perhaps the reason these Star Wars ships are becoming more expensive is not only because the sets themselves are becoming bigger, but also because they're not as popular as they once were. How many people collect all of the different Star Wars sets? I don't remember. I don't think I've ever bought all the Star Wars sets in a wave. Perhaps when they did the Boba Vader mechs, I'm not quite sure how many different sets come out in that wave, but it's been a while since I've wanted all the Star Wars sets in one wave, because they are now catering to that older audience that wants the more expensive display models rather than all of these different play sets that perhaps you and I are probably collecting. And if you have any opinions on this, please do let me know down in the comments. But I do want to build more sets live here on the channel, and even if I'm not going live like today, perhaps just recording myself building, talking about something. And if you want a review on top of this video, please do let me know, because I know some people like the in-depth looks, because there are some things that even me watching a video, watching someone else review a set, there'll be something that I just haven't pieced together, be it a play feature or just something I haven't quite thought of. And I think that is really, really fun, that collaborative aspect of seeing someone else talking about a set and then realizing that the play feature is even better than you once thought. However, I am going to be doing these style of videos in the new year, live streaming them, and we'll also be trying to work in mocks in the same sort of venue. So it's going to be really interesting what mocks we get built and how long we spend breaking down and rebuilding sets. But let me know down in the comments if you do want reviews on top of this style of video. I'm happy to finally own what I can call the command station. We'll put the commander, maybe, captain, also maybe, officer, still very, very likely. I'm not quite sure if this is the one from the UCS gunship, come to think of it. And I think that was a captain, but I can't remember the Phase 1 clone colors. I can barely remember the legions of the Phase 2 because I called the the Coruscant Guard I referred to as the 212th, something like that. I'm sure you'll remember and will never forgive me for that. But I think this is a really, really nice little build, and I really wish I would have picked this up at some point. Maybe I'll pick up the official set one day, but when I own most of the pieces, is there really a need? Thank you so much for watching this absolute waffle of a video. If you like, drop a like, and there will be more of these in the future. If you didn't like, drop a dislike to let me know. I really do appreciate all of your feedback, good, bad, improvements. As long as you're just not moaning in the comments, I'll appreciate anything you have to say. So let me know down in the comments. Check out the other videos on screen now. I will leave one of my build streams so you can see and get a feel of what that will be like. Perhaps they're best to have up in the background if you don't catch them live. But thank you so much for making it to the end of this video, no matter how long it's felt, and may the bricks be with you always.